Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome to Don't Fret Friday. I'm your host today, Stag P, aka Ryan Andrew Giovanni Bosco Seawald, the first. No, okay, there's no second, so I can't be the first. Anyways, and then below me is Broman, aka Kyle Giovanni.
Hey everyone.
No, I'm just kidding. Kyle Andrew Giovanni Bosco Seawald. No, he doesn't have the same middle names. Anyways, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We've got quite a few. Geez, wow, I can't speak English. We've got quite a few people here already. So thanks for coming early, guys, and being here with us. Hopefully your battery doesn't die there. Secrets, orange kittens. Basically, you know the drill. This is Don't Fret Friday. Just like Don't Worry Wednesday, we take your topics, your concerns or questions, and we do our best to answer them. We aren't psychiatrists or professionals in that sense in any way, but we do hope to help give a little bit of perspective and some friendly advice on whatever you're going through to help you maybe not worry about it so much, maybe give you some direction, or maybe just give you some encouragement to help you go along this difficult life, as life can be many times. And so we have Kyle with us today, and he's here because, well, Joe is currently celebrating the holidays with his family, something like that. So yeah, did I get that right? Is that what Joe's doing? Something like that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Am I all staticky? I'm gonna fix mine just in case. Wasn't sure. All right, there we go. Cool. So we've got 2 comments from the last stream. I can see Cohagen is here. That's awesome. Perfect. Well, why don't we start with Cohagen since
you know what? I'd like to put this one at the top of the list first. Though we got one from Golden Dragon Play that we just need to resolve right now.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Did you hug your mom on Wednesday?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah, I did. I hug my mom almost every single day, so we're good there.
Cool.
I got you covered. I got you covered, Drachi. Drachi's Golden Dragonfly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, cool. Hey, Sadie, did you hug your mom? Oh, that is the question. All right, cool. I just subscribed to you. Hey, that's awesome. Golden Dragonfly, you just got a sub. You're welcome. I didn't do anything, but you're welcome anyways. So cool. Let's jump into Cohagen's question. I'll read it. It said, so I've been with my girlfriend for almost 3 years, and for all 3 of them, I've been trying to show her how beautiful she is when she thinks she's not and puts herself down because of it. And no matter what I do, try and be there for her, she always goes back to it and her appearance and teases probably herself. No. Anyways, puts herself down on it, and I've got nothing left. I can tell her that I haven't already, and I'm lost. So basically, you're just trying to get your girlfriend to believe that she's beautiful when you tell her she is, and have her stop putting herself down so much. I totally get that. And I've definitely had to deal with people not accepting compliments and putting themselves down a lot. And I'm sure Kyle has too. So I'm going to give it over to Kyle and see what he has to say about it.
Sure. You know, this is
beautiful cut.
This one's a little bit. I've dealt with this specific issue a little bit, and it's an interesting thing because when you're someone's significant other, it's hard to make a compliment, right? Because not to make the compliment, but to accept the compliment, right? Because at least in my case, a lot of times the reaction is, well, it's sort of something along the lines of, well, you have to say that, you don't really mean that, you're just trying to make me feel good, So it definitely can be a challenge, right? One of the biggest things is, though, don't give up. Just keep saying it, because even though they might, what I found is, like, even though my wife, sometimes she might say, well, you're just saying that, or something like that. I know, I can tell that over time, the more it's said, the more it's understood, the more it's repeated, the more likely it is to sink in and actually be accepted. Even if they verbally don't accept it, maybe they say they don't accept it, but they might do it. And one thing too is that I found is, it's best to remind somebody how important they are to you, or their good traits, when they're not feeling down, right? Like, if you can say something nice about somebody when they're not feeling depressed about it, then they can more likely know that you're not just saying it, right? Because you're not reacting to them feeling bad. You're just saying it because you happen to believe it, right? So if you think your girlfriend's beautiful, you should, tell her every day, let her know. Other than that, I mean, it's just I don't have a whole lot more to say than that. I know it's just tough. A lot of times people don't want to accept it, and there's nothing you can do, but repeating it, should eventually sink in a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any other. I mean, it's just one. It's that one's tough, but just show it. I don't know how else to to do it. I deal with that too. It's just an interesting part of being in a relationship. Not everybody sees the good things about themselves. And you have to kind of work real hard to let them see it. So, Ryan, do you have anything to add? Or
Sure. Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, a lot of times it's just repetition, or you say it over and over. One thing that you can do is you can kind of spin it on its head, and you can say this. I find this kind of works for me, for people who try to deny that they are talented or beautiful in certain aspects. What I do is I give them the verbal benefit of the doubt, but continue the compliment. And so what I mean is like this. If she says, "I'm not beautiful," I respond, "I can understand that, because, like, I don't usually see myself as, handsome or beautiful, because I'm myself. But I'm being honest when I say you're beautiful. You don't have to believe that you're beautiful. I mean, everybody has their own different opinions about different things, and these are all just opinions. I mean, what you're attracted to, it's all just an opinion. But my opinion is that you are beautiful. But you don't have to think that if you don't want to." And when I say that, usually they then drop it. And while that might not feel like a victory, it is a subtle victory, because then they see it as it forces them to realize, like, hey, all of this is just perspective. All of this is just, how do you see it? What's your opinion? Because everybody has their own opinions about what they're attracted to. And then when you put it forward, like, hey, it's just my opinion, but I think that you really are beautiful. You don't have to believe that, but that's my belief about you. And that usually helps people. It breaks down some barriers. It opens them up a little bit and makes them realize, maybe I am beautiful according to this person. And then that can move into, maybe I can be beautiful according to me too. That slowly moves from one side to another. That's my experience. Now, everybody's different. Everybody reacts differently to conversations. But yeah, definitely, for what Kyle said, I would totally agree. Just keep on saying it is important. Don't stop saying it just because you feel like it's failing over and over. Everybody has trouble accepting compliments, pretty much, because it can be awkward. It could be like, I don't know what to say after that. Like, well, what do I say? But even if people discredit your comment, they still feel what you said. And what I mean is, they've heard you say that that they're beautiful. And so even if they don't believe they are, um, it makes them a little bit more happy about their relationship with you, and it makes them feel good, even if they say it doesn't. It does. A lot of people reject that feel good because they don't know what to do with it. Um, what I suggest is maybe you're in a relationship with this person, um, hug it out. When things get awkward because you compliment somebody and you don't know what to say, just give them a hug. So one thing also is if she compliments you, don't turn it down. You have to set an example. So don't turn it down if she gives you a compliment. Just smile and say thank you and give her a hug. Something along those lines, anyways. If you can be in physical contact with each other. Sometimes I know that there's online relationships and you can't really do that, but you can type asterisk hug asterisk, as I often do. But yeah, I hope some of that helps. I'm curious if any of that is anything you've not heard before, but it is just an interesting part of many people's lives. And it's hard to get to the point where you have the self-esteem. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I was saying that last stream. I kept on saying self-esteem. But anyways, self-esteem. Solution to hug everything out. Yeah, just hug it out. But anyways, I hope that helps. And moves that part of the relationship forward, because that is one of the most painful experience. It's not the most painful, but one of the more annoyingly painful experiences is telling somebody that you love them and their response, or telling something that you believe in somebody else, like, hey, you're really good at this, and then they just respond like, no, I'm not. It's just like, why are you turning down my compliment, man? Makes me feel bad inside. So accepting compliments is really important because it also makes the other person feel good, when you feel good by their compliment. So anybody else who happens to struggle with when someone compliments them, their instinct is to turn down the compliment. Remember that by turning that down, you're hurting the person that complimented you, because kind of like what you're saying is like, your opinion of me is wrong, even though you're trying to help me. and you are just wrong, and no one likes to be wrong, and they're not wrong, because this is what they really believe about you, and you should just be happy about that. They just want to make you happy. That's why they're saying it. So you're just saying that to make me happy. Yes, you're right, I am saying that to make you happy. But it's also true. But yes. Yeah. So anyways, cool. I hope that's settled, or is good enough for you. Keep calm and keep complimenting. Cool. We also have one from Magician Jester. I don't know if they're here today. Magician Jester was on the last stream and they posted a comment or concern, and we want to take care of it today, but I'm not sure if they're here. If you are here, let us know. And if you come on later, you won't hear this, but let us know then too. Self-esteem. Yeah, we're here again. Yep. I turn down compliments politely to be humble, because that's how it works in my family. Yeah, I can understand that. Especially, Japanese, probably other Asian descents as well. That is the common courtesy, to politely or humbly turn down the compliment. And I think that's fair. I think that you can do that at the same time as not offend anybody or make anyone feel like their compliment was just sidestepped. You know what I mean? I think there's a way to do that. You're feeling really anxious right now and you don't know why. What's going on, Brie? Anything you want to talk about? Hi, Tef, by the way. Nice to see you here. It's 12:25 a.m. Luxoka, where are you from? Where is it? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probably somewhere in United Kingdom? 12. Yeah, because that's 5 hours, not 6. I'm going to guess somewhere near United Kingdom, if not in United Kingdom. Golden Dragonplay, you're Drachi. That's the time zone of Germany. Yeah, you guys are awesome for staying up so late. I don't know if you're doing it just to catch our streams, but it's really great to have you here, even though it's so late for you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Achilles said, it's common to hear, I don't see why I am blank, but thank you. Yeah, that's a decent response because you're at least saying thank you. Even if you're admitting you don't really see it in yourself. I think that's really cool. Tef! Bree says, Tef! And the hugs are now happening. Many hugs for everybody. Everybody in the chat, just hug each other. I mean, we're not doing anything else right now. Anybody got any comments for us or concerns? Anything going throughout your week that, you maybe even already solved, but something we can talk about, something that maybe wisdom you can share in the chat with other people that you've learned this last week? That would be great. Are you guys uncomfortable because my brother's here?
Yes.
And he's not saying much.
I'm very uncomfortable with your brother.
Oh, I know. He's really quite hard to be
around.
Well, there's only one person that can be him, so it's pretty difficult.
It's really because no two people can be in the same place at the same time, but yet here I am.
I know you're a miracle
like
yourself.
With me. It's weird,
right? It's almost like you're one person.
I know.
But according to your statement, you're at least two.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Wow. That's
so okay. So this is funny. So Screet Orange Kittens says awkward siblings. So Ryan, little story time here. Ryan, when he was in school, his whole goal was to be as awkward as possible for a while. So he would talk to people and just say random stuff. And they didn't understand what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Because
what are you talking about?
He would just say random stuff, but he sounded really smart. Because he is smart. So he was able to pick words that were pick smarter words and just sentence structures and stuff. And it was really funny. People would just I don't know. All right. And they'd walk away because they had no idea what was going on.
Why are you walking away? We're having a good conversation. Come on, man. Yeah, it was. I learned how to speak smartly from Kyle. Kyle has always been really smart, and he teaches me stuff. And then I take it to school, and I'm like, guys, this is a thing, and everyone's like, no, that's not a thing. You're stupid. And then 3 years later, everybody learns that was a thing. I remember for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. My brother taught me that from Newton's whatever. And then everybody thought I was retarded or something because I told people hey, it's a thing. And everyone's like, no, that sounds stupid. And that doesn't make sense. or objects are constantly in motion inside their atom structures and so on. And everyone thought I was crazy. So I could sound smart, but it didn't make sense to anybody. And a lot of times it didn't make sense to me either. I was just repeating things my brother said. I got C's, a lot of C's in school. So, but that's because I didn't do my homework. Do your homework, kids.
Right.
So I get A's on my tests.
So if you see some awkwardness,
That's
sometimes
just who I am.
play around.
Yeah.
So Golden Draki, right, says, my friend had a friend.
Hmm.
Who knows who this friend is, though?
Wait, if your friend had a friend, that could technically be you.
Right. So
That's good. That's a good way to say, hey, I have this problem without saying it's me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, okay, that he had a crush on. She turned him down, but they became like the best friends. She, even bigger than me and him. She made a friend of him that I'm confused on that cheated on a girl before. And then
I think.
Or is that continuing?
Here's the second part. It's continuing.
Okay.
The question is because we don't know how many there are going to be.
Okay, so maybe I should just wait until we have the rest of that.
I mean, we've got the second half, second bit. New laws of physics and matter.
Okay. Yeah. She met a friend of his that cheated on a girl before. He told her because he found out she had a crush on the friend, just so she knows. They became a pair and deleted all contact to my friend over some mutual friends. He heard that they broke up. Okay.
You're going to have to type faster, Drachi. No, I'm just kidding.
Just my brother's smashing the keyboard with your face, and then it'll all work out. No, I think
you don't have enough fingers. Start using your nose. If it's pointy like mine, I mean, should be.
I could be wrong. So what I get so far from this question is basically there's this couple of friends, and then the girl gets involved with some other folks that bad mouths friend one, and then the gal cuts all ties with her original friends, and now maybe she's not a friend with the friend that broke them all up anymore. I think that's what I'm getting so far.
I'm not sure I get the context based on how you explained it, but I'll tell you this. We got friend 1 and friend 2 and friend 3. Friend 1 tells friend 2, which is a girl, that friend 3 cheated on somebody, whilst friend 2, the girl, liked friend 3. Well, since 2 went out, friend 2, the girl, went out with friend 3, and she deleted friend 1 from all of her contacts because friend 1 is the one that told her that friend 3 cheated on a girl. Does that make sense?
I might need a picture.
Okay, let me show you a diagram. Let me show you a pie chart. Just so explain everything. I know you like charts and pies and charts and pies. Pie charts.
Yeah, if we could put this in a pie graph.
Mm-hmm, yeah. If we could draw, just draw every person in a pie, and then everybody eating pie, and then make sure that you assimilate how much context belongs to which party member based on how much pie they're eating. Just make it complicated. As complicated as possible. Now they also broke the contact with the mutual friends and insult him and his friends all the time.
We might have the whole story now.
Yes, I think so.
I'm going to copy and
They came back together and insulted him for asking a mutual friend.
I'm going to try and put this all together and then read it again.
Okay.
And then I'm sure it will be more clear without our weird commentary halfway through.
Probably. I trust you got things in order.
And then I'm going to give these people names.
Okay.
So that it can make sense.
Friedrich, Samantha.
And then I'm probably going to get the names screwed up, and then you can tell me which people I've confused. So, okay. So my friend, let's name friend Josh, had a friend We'll name that friend Benny.
Okay.
That he had a crush on.
Wait. Benny is a girl?
Wait a minute. Yes. Benny's a girl.
Whoa. All right.
Benita.
Benita. Yes, I like that one. Benita.
Okay. So we've got Josh and Benita that he had a crush on. Okay, Benita turned him down, but they became like the best friends, even bigger than Josh and Drachi. Okay, so Benita met Josh's friend.
Yes.
Right? Josh's friend's name is now going to be George. Georg, if you will.
Georg? Okay.
Georg.
Georg?
He is Austrian.
Isn't it Georgi then? Georgi? Like if the first G is pronounced G, then the last G has to be pronounced G.
Georg. Okay, so she met Georg, who was a friend of Josh's, right?
Mm-hmm.
That cheated, and Georg cheated on another girl before. Okay,
He sounds like from like D&D, like he's the character that's like me, Georg, me crush. Sorry,
I don't know if this is making this any easier. I'm sorry, but we don't really have any other questions. So I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so Georg cheated on a girl before, right? That's what I'm getting so far. So I'm assuming this is Josh. He is Josh. Josh told Benita about this Georg fellow, just so that she would know before they kind of got together, right? Or even after they got together. Looks like Benita and Georg got together anyway, and then disassociated with Josh. So they don't hang out with Josh anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Josh eventually hears from some friends that Georg and Benita are broken up. They're no longer together. But these friends also don't have contact with somebody. I'm not sure who they don't have contact with. They also broke the contact with the mutual friends. So I'm guessing Benita doesn't talk to these friends anymore. And Benita is insulting everybody all around all the time. Okay.
Got it.
I think I've got it. Is that about right? Okay, I think I've got it. So
let us know if we've got it right.
So at this point, if we've got it right, we're not really too worried with Georg because he's just a friend of a friend of a friend at this point.
Well, Georg is the guy that cheated.
Georg was the guy that influenced her to cut ties with everybody. So that's significant. But then, other than that, I mean, I think we're concerned with Josh and Benita and their circle of friends and why they don't talk anymore.
Yeah, okay. That's about right as much as I was going to.
I think I've got it. I
Good job.
have experienced this similar thing, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Love you too, Bray.
Sort of. Something somewhat similar, anyways, I think. Both insult Josh. Okay, but Benita's not with Georg anymore, right? I mean, this Austrian dude.
This Austrian dude that we made Austrian. Right?
I'm sorry. If anybody's Austrian, I don't mean anything. I'm just having fun. So,
okay. Austrians are
Austrians are cool.
awesome. I actually know some Austrians. They're all great.
So yeah. So okay. I think we've got this. So actually, that's similar to a friend of mine. He
so they're back together again.
They're back together again. Okay. Interesting. So I had a friend growing up, and he was
okay, I think I know this friend.
Always. I don't know how this doesn't relate entirely, but it's similar, right? He always he was always pretty cool. He was super nice, he but he never really, I don't know if he ever figured out who he wanted to be, if that makes sense. Right? Like what his personality was. He kind of just changed it all the time. Not all the time, but just to suit whoever he was hanging out with.
Which is a personality type in itself, I think.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I suppose it is. But he did end up at one point, he was dating this one gal, and he didn't talk to anybody at all anymore.
Yeah.
Just stopped. And then I remember, Ryan, you passed him on the sidewalk and he didn't even, you said hi and he just walked past you. I think. Yeah. One time. It. And you remember, I don't know, maybe it was somebody else. I thought that was you. Anyway, was his name Kevin? No.
No. But for this story, we can call him Kevin.
We can call him Kevin now. So, but anyways, it was really, really kind of interesting thing. After he broke up with this gal, he started talking to all of his friends again. This is really kind of interesting. She sort of was able to influence him to do that. And then Diana had a really good friend in college that the same similar thing sort of happened. She started dating this guy, and she stopped talking to all of her friends until they broke up.
I actually don't know who you're talking about now. The first one.
The first, really?
Huh?
I think you do know who I'm talking about in the first one. It doesn't matter. Regardless, it doesn't matter. So,
it has to be. Okay, I know who you're talking about. I think I realized this a specific girl, not his current girl.
No, but then there's another girl. So it's my wife's friend in college, and she had the same sort of an interesting situation. She started dating this guy, and he put all kinds of ideas in her head, and would invent stories almost, I think, to convince her that her friends were terrible. And it took her a long time to talk to any of her friends again even after she broke up the guy. It took her years and years before she would talk to her friends again. And she's still working on it. It was a really traumatic experience for her. She's still trying to figure out how to recover from that. So, it's interesting when sometimes when people become really infatuated with somebody, they tend to run on strict emotion, right? Mm-hmm. Logic doesn't really have to make sense. Nothing has to make sense anymore, as long as that feeling of wanting to be that with this particular person is fulfilled, right? And so if they want you to do X, you just do X. You'll believe X because then you can be with that person. And it becomes sort of a dependency. Like there's a dependency on that feeling because it was such a powerful feeling at first. Now that's not necessarily it's not a healthy relationship at all. But I don't exactly know what causes something like that to happen. But it does happen. And I think in my experience so far, the best thing to do is just give them time and space. Let them work through those problems, but be there for them, and just kind of say, hey, if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. I don't know what I did wrong, but If you're ever ready to talk about it, let me know. You know, or if we want to just, if we can move on and ignore, pretend it didn't happen, whatever you want to do. But, you know, I'll be ready when you're ready. And just that kind of you know, just be there, be ready, because eventually things come around. You know, eventually that feeling is going to wear off to the point where they're no longer sort of like, hypnotized by the feeling. I guess that's how I think how I could explain it the best. Other than that, you know, now it sounds like these people are back together, and if that's the case, then there's not a whole lot you probably can expect to do or happen. Unfortunately, sometimes friends just go their separate ways, and that's the end of it. But as far as getting in between people who are together, it never works out in your favor. It's pretty much always going to end with cutting off ties to the person who's against the relationship. In 99% of the cases, probably 99.999% of the cases. When people are in that state, they're going to stick with the person they're with. So you can make, you know, the best thing to do is just be the best friend you can be there for them when they need you. Or hey, this is your friend's, you know, if you were going to tell your friend something, right, is just make himself available. You know, just let them know you're there for them if they ever need to talk. But, you know, other than that, there's not a whole lot that can be done. The worst thing that can be done, though, is get in there and fight, right? Or go up to the person and say, I don't like your boyfriend because this, and this. Or, you know, this is what she said. This is what, you know. Most of the time, they're not going to believe you, or even if they do believe you, they're not going to care. And you're the one causing friction, so you're going to go away, right? And it's not really the case. You're not really the problem. That's just how they're going to see it. And you can't be a positive influence in someone's life if you just cause them to push you away, right? So I guess that's
Trachi says he doesn't want to get against their relationship. He tried to forget about them and wanted the best for them, but they ask friends about him and still try to make him feel bad.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like a thing where they're sort of sounds to me like holding a grudge or something, right? And they just keep going after him. So, you know, that can be tough, but tell your friend that if he just, in most cases, if he just does the right thing, you know, in most cases, and he's not being mean to everybody, and he's just you know, if he tries to be the best version of himself, right, people are very quickly going to see that whatever these other folks are saying about him don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Right? It's very easy to see, like when I have when I know somebody really well and somebody says something bad about them, I can discern whether or not the person who says something bad knows what they're talking about or not, right? I can know that, you know, if someone tells me that, you know, we used to have, you know, I've had people, and what Ryan and I used to do some work together. And once in a while, someone would say, oh, he was really unprofessional and, you know, you should do this other stuff. And it's like, come on, Ryan is not unprofessional. Maybe he has long hair, but as far as his attitude goes, I guarantee you he didn't say anything wrong. He just doesn't, you know. So, you know, I can very easily know that they're just mad about something else and they're trying to use that as an excuse. And it's very easy to pick up on those things. So, you know, the best thing your friend can do is just be him, be the best version of himself, as he can. And if, you know, there's rumors or whatever, people are going to very quickly find out those rumors are not true. You know, I think that's the best way to deal with that. All you can do is prove the rumors wrong by being a good person.
Yeah.
Avoiding the fight. Fight's not worth it.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that. One of the things also on top of what Kyle just said is to not assume anybody believes those rumors. Because you'll dig yourself a hole if you start thinking everybody hates you or everybody thinks bad about you or whatever. You'll force yourself to have a low self-esteem and all of these terrible things. So don't assume anybody hates you. Don't assume anybody even knows about the rumors. Because you'll do yourself more damage if you do. And just being honest really goes a long way. If someone brings it up, they can just say, yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why they're saying that, but I don't know why they're insulting me. I have no idea. Like, I wish the best for them. I think I made them angry or something, but I didn't mean to. That you can be honest about the whole situation. And another thing. Hold on, I'm going to read sign. Unfortunately, I don't know much about this sort of thing. Sorry, I can't offer my advice. Oh, one thing I can say is what he just said. Prove them wrong by being a good person. Yeah, don't give those rumors fuel for the fire. Yeah. Yep. That's really true. I mean, honestly, that's all you really can ever do. And that's what does you the best. It's just being a good person, being the best you can be. And, he can go ahead and it doesn't hurt to apologize. You might feel like, here's the thing. When you say, I'm sorry, the word sorry comes from the word sorrow. So when you say, I'm sorry about this, while a lot of people will take that as an apology, like you did something wrong, it doesn't actually have to mean you did something wrong. It just means that you feel sorrow over the situation. So if he's one of those people that says, well, I can't apologize for something I didn't do wrong, you can tell him that, and that'll help him if he needs to apologize to the girl and the guy, hopefully together. Because humbly does it tend to open wounds. Humbly does. It's part of the song I wrote, and now I remember. Humbly does it tend to something. Tend to open wounds. Yeah. It's not tend to open wounds, like as in it's okay. It is right. You got it. I read it the wrong way. It doesn't tend to do something.
You had the wrong definition for tend.
Yeah, I had the wrong word definition of tend. That's funny. I didn't realize that could be read both ways. And I just did it myself. You can tend to the open wounds, or you can open the wounds. Wow. High chance of opening wounds or just helping the wounds heal. Okay. Two completely different opposite meanings in the same sentence. You know the lyrics better than I do. Good job, man. So anyways, maybe he can make an apology. That's really all he can do. You can't pick what other people think. And I have seen lots of people, they get involved in a relationship, and I've even done this. You get really intensely emotionally involved with a person. And what happens is your mind, all of your emotional state depends on that person. So everything else falls behind that. So like, if anyone's ever said anything bad about the person that all of your emotions are wrapped up in, that can turn quickly into, oh, I hate them, which is terrible. But what can you do? I mean, you don't really have a whole lot of influence other than trying to apologize and say, hey, I just want this to work out. And I don't know I know what I did to make you angry, and I'm sorry for that. Everybody has the ability to change. And I don't think that he's cheating on you now. I just was trying to tell you that. But look, man, I would talk to both of them though. That's the thing. If you want to try to talk to someone, either talk to both parties or at the same time, or talk to both parties individually. Because if you only talk to one party, it causes problems. As weird as that is, if you apologize to the girl but not the guy, it's not going to help you. If you apologize to the guy and not the girl, it's not going to help you. You have to apologize to both, whether individually or together. That's generally kind of how you have to do it in that sort of situation, because they're both together in trying to make this person's demise and trying to be a jerk to this person. But yeah, this story has been going on for half a year and had many other problems through that time. Bad finals, his parents broke up, etc. Oh man, that's really rough. I wish the best for him. I hope he's standing strong and getting through it without too much of a heartache. Yeah, that sounds really difficult. I really want to help him, but I don't have any advice left. I could just listen to him and try to cheer him up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times just being a friend is what's going to help the most. Being there for him, being there to listen to him. A lot of times our advice falls on deaf ears. A lot of times our advice doesn't necessarily help. But what I could recommend doing, is the most important thing you can do probably, is to make him feel important. And you do that by being respectful and listening to what they have to say, understanding and agreeing with them on those things. But another thing you can do, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, is you can make someone feel important just by asking their opinions on things. Hey, what do you think about this? Because when you ask them for advice, it validates them and the way that they think, and that makes them feel like they're needed and that they're important and that their thoughts matter and that they're smart, and all of those things. And so it's a very good thing to do, is ask them for advice. Another thing you can do, of course, is ask, something as simple as, hey, what should I have for dinner? Or, hey, do you have a good music list or playlist to listen to? I'm looking for some good songs. Or do you know any good bands or whatever? Ask them about music, because people get attached to that sort of thing, and that's part of who people are, it's to an extent. And so, asking them questions like that makes him feel important. And so a lot of times when people are going through hard times, one of the best things you can do to encourage them to get through it all is to just make them feel like they're important. So yeah. And honestly, that goes a really long way, and could honestly be also the same advice that helps him repair his relationship. Because if you make someone feel important, because an apology doesn't necessarily I was recommending make an apology. An apology doesn't always necessarily fix the situation. It just makes the person feel like they're not as angry at you, or that you did what you needed to do. And so they can't, their conscience doesn't let them be mad at you anymore, but that doesn't mean they like you any more than they used to. But making people feel important or special or good or, just joyful, giving and helping anyone have a good time, really helps them form a relationship. So what your friend might be able to do is, instead of trying to repair a relationship, make a new relationship. Basically, these are enemies that you can make friends out of. You can make friends out of strangers, out of enemies, if all you do is focus on making them feel good when you're around them. Or, hey, making them feel good when you're not around them. Imagine your friend spreading rumors that are good things about that girl and that guy. And then that word gets to them from somebody else. And did you hear what Steven said about you? You're like, oh no, Steven, I hate that guy. I don't know if you should hate him, because he said really nice things about you. What? Just, even if it's not even to the person's face, but being honestly, just being really nice and complimenting, makes friends out of enemies. Laughing at their jokes, even if they're not funny, or even if they're meant to attack you and make you feel bad. Laughing at them and being like, "That's actually pretty funny," and then continue the joke with it. Um, yeah, you can make friends out of enemies, and that's actually maybe something he should do. Try to figure out how to make both of them feel important or liked. Make them feel like he likes them, because right now they're being jerks because they assume that he doesn't like them either. But if they learned that he still thinks highly of them, if the couple learned that your friend likes them and sees them highly and intends to treat them respectfully and all that sort of stuff, it won't be easy for them to insult him. So he maybe that's one route, is to try your best to do the opposite of what you want to do. Because you're gonna want to be like, no, they're wrong, and uh, fine, I'll insult them back or whatever. Or most of us just stay complacent or whatever. We just don't talk to them anymore. I don't talk to those guys anymore. They're all just jerks. They're all, whatever. But if you go out of your way to try to compliment them, I think that will do a lot. Obviously, it takes persistence, because if you just say, "Hey, I like your shoes" or something to them once, that ain't going to repair a relationship, really. But if you're consistent and you keep on complimenting them and you keep on just being a friend, someone who cares about them, they'll come around. So that's all the advice I have to offer on it.
Hey, Ro.
Hey, Ro, welcome. Hey, Sana, you've been here a while, but I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, Screet. My bad. Oh, sorry, I didn't read this before. He was my biggest help when my depression started, and was, besides your music, the reason I was able to fight my suicidal thoughts. So I felt bad when I couldn't help him much anymore, but be an ear for him. Right. Yeah, sometimes all you can do is just be an ear. But yeah, letting them know they're important, giving them compliments, things like that, that goes a long way. It really does. So I hope that helps you help him. Yeah. How's your story going on? Science, are you writing a book or something? Are you a story writer? Because let me tell you, man, Science rocks. I am not a very good story writer, but I always feel like I need story writers to help me. I'm going to be doing work experience in March at primary school. Interesting. I'm really scared. I have anxiety and I'm not good with people. And I'm scared they'll all hate me. Yes, they're all young kids, but still. Luxoka. Yeah, that's so I'm guessing that you're learning to be a teacher. So you're doing work experience as a teacher, or an aide of some sort. That's pretty interesting. And yeah, I can understand your anxiety and fear. Like, what are they going to think of me? The kids, you want to make a good impression, have a good reputation. It's hard to teach people if they don't like you. So it really is. I know from experience of being the kid that doesn't like other people. Yeah. Did you hear that question, Kyle?
Yes, I did.
Cool. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yes. I don't know if this really helps or not, but while it'd be good if they all liked you. I don't think it matters if they all liked you.
And that's a good point.
Obviously they'll learn better, and be more accepting of any help you have to give and offer if they like you. But ultimately, what's important is that you are you, and you're a good person, and you're going to do the best job you can, right? And because of that, you've done everything you need to, right? It's up to them to decide if they want to accept you giving your time and your effort. I mean, in most cases, though, if you really go in wanting to do a good job and help these kids, there's pretty good chance they're gonna like you, because they're gonna know that you're there to help them and that you want to be there with them, right? They'll be able to see that, and that'll be more important than anything else as far as if they're gonna like you or not. But if they don't, I mean, that's okay. I never try to let my happiness be dependent on somebody else's happiness with me. Right. I like, there's certain people who it would bother me more if they were unhappy with me. Right. But if it's just people I don't know, or they don't have any significance, as far, not that they don't have significance, but they don't have any impact on my life yet, right? Like if it's somebody that I haven't met yet, that's the least likely concern of mine if they're happy with me, right? It's not on my radar at all. Now, as someone gets to know me and I get to know them, obviously now I'm more concerned about it, right? Because I want those around me to be happy. I don't want people to not like me and be upset whenever I'm around and this kind of thing, right? But I don't let that get in the way, because ultimately it's up to me to decide if I want to be happy. And if I can be happy, then the people around me pretty much don't have a choice. Right? Because happiness rubs off. You walk into a room and smile, and people are probably going to smile back pretty much all the time, unless they're having a really, really bad day. But that's not your fault. So just go in there and be awesome. You got this.
I just want to find a place to be happy, and I think school would be great, but I hate my own school, so I'm trying a primary school. But if they don't like me, I'm not going to be happy. I'm too used to that. Interesting. Yeah.
So that raises a good question. So what makes a person happy? Where does happiness come from? And if you're not happy, how do you get happy? And if you are happy, why are you so dang happy all the time? Right?
People ask you that, yeah.
So why don't you answer those questions there, Ryan?
Do you want me to? Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Joe said something great yesterday. Happiness often comes from your virtues. The virtues like patience and humility and all of the other virtues. You know them. You know a good virtue when you see it. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. Happiness is often comes through virtues, because those are the things that bring happiness. I would say there's a fine line, of course, between happiness and pleasure, and that is pleasure is something, as one man put it, that cannot be sustained beyond the act which creates it. Or rather, Pleasure is something that happens when you're doing something you enjoy, but it doesn't last. Um, and a lot of times, pleasure is quite opposite of happiness. Happiness is more of something that is longer lasting and happens because of an action or a mindset. And it's usually those things that we are proud of or things that we are satisfied with. Um, one great example is uh, imagine, you're going to go work out, but then you see your couch and your TV and your 20 liter of Coke and Coca-Cola and your bag of Doritos. And you're wondering, which one's going to make me happy? The Doritos or the Coke? No, no. Which is going to make me happy? Exercising, like I said I was going to do, or just laying on my in the couch and watching TV and eating Doritos? You know that one's going to be more pleasurable up front, but happiness comes from working out because at the end, you're satisfied with what you did. You're proud of what you did. You don't regret what you did. And it's something that sustains beyond the activity, which produces it. A lot of times, happiness comes from just doing the things you know you're supposed to do. Happiness is actually something that only you feel. So, what I mean is, happiness is not something you can obtain from others because really, emotions are something from within. And how you see yourself is something from within. Happiness is a lot of just how you see yourself, to be honest. Your self esteem, kind of like that. How you view yourself will make you happy. And if you base your feelings of yourself, if you rate yourself based on how others see you, then you can't sustain happiness because your happiness is based on other people who are making choices for you.
If I can add, I'm going to add in right there before you continue just on that statement. You don't know what other people are thinking.
Right.
So if you're going to base your happiness on what other people think of you, you're basing your happiness on what you think other people think of you. Mm-hmm. And if you're thinking about what they might be thinking of you, most of the time,
you're probably thinking
about what someone's thinking, it's going to be in the negative. I'm never going to worry about if someone thinks I'm too good of a guy.
Right. That's true. That's actually very true. And it's a road that only leads to negative.
And so that road only leads to negative. There's no way it doesn't. So anyway, sorry, go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
And this is why that's why it's not a good measuring stick. Go ahead.
Right. The only way it leads to slight happiness is like, man, I hope this person likes me. And then they say, hey, I like you. And then you're like, yes, they like me. That makes you feel good. And then you're like, yeah, but how much? Are they going to like me tomorrow? Oh, shoot. And it becomes negative again. I think we've all probably been down that road. And you should worry about others, but not about what they think of you. Because, it doesn't necessarily ever lead to something good. You can only control what you think of yourself. And so just be your best. And treat other people your best, and you won't have anything to complain about. And you won't have anything to be mad at yourself for or whatever. But that requires also forgiveness. You have to learn how to forgive yourself and move on and work on yourself and continue to grow and all of that kind of stuff. But, here's the thing. Here's a fine example. If you walk in and one of the kids doesn't like you, right? There's a huge chance that there's going to be a kid who just doesn't like you because he doesn't like teachers, because he had a bad experience with a teacher once. And because he had a bad experience with one teacher, he hates all teachers, or she hates all teachers. That's a very high chance. And then you have to go in there, him already hating you, with you not even he doesn't even know you. He's never even met you, but because he doesn't like teachers or he doesn't like people in general, he just hates everybody in general to start with. That's a lot of people, by the way. There's a lot of people who just hate people or don't trust people right off the bat. They say, oh, everybody wants the worst for me. That's their first thought. is wrong, but that's their first thought. Whenever they meet somebody, that person has to work extremely hard to prove them wrong before they'll ever even get them a chance. So if you go into this new school, if any of the kids seem to not like you, it's probably not your fault. I mean, they don't even know you. Uh, and so don't be worried about the kids that are not liking you. All you can do is be your best. And sometimes that means doing things that they think is makes them angry. Sometimes you'll do the right thing and it makes other people angry. Sometimes you'll go and help a kid and say, "Hey, I see you're having troubles with this area," and they'll be instantly insulted because it sounds to them like you're calling them stupid. That's not your fault. That's how they perceived it. And so now they think that you're calling them stupid, even though you never said that. So all you can do is do your best. And that's all you can do. Like, you don't get to pick what other people are going to think. So if you are kind, if you're courteous, if you're respectful, if you give the kids trust, I think one of the best things you can do is trust your students. Let them know that you trust them. Let them know that you respect them. Because here's the thing. If you respect your students, even before they have earned it, respect your students, they'll act respectful. Most of them will anyways. If you trust your students, you give them tasks and you say like, "Hey, can you go drop these down at the office?" And you trust that they're not going to sabotage whatever, If you give them that trust, they will want to be trustworthy. They will want to do more things that are trusting because people value that. We don't necessarily ever think consciously about this. It's all subconscious, but people, when they are trusted, when they feel valued, they want to hold on to that because it's important. And so then they want to do all the things that secures your trust in them. I work at Taco Bell, and there was a lady, I've told this many times before, but there's a lady who, said, like, I let her count down my drawer. I said, "Hey, you can switch my drawers for me." And, she's like, "I can't touch a drawer. What if I steal something out of it? Then you have to pay for it because it's your drawer. That's your cash register." And I was like, "You wouldn't do that. I trust you." And she's like, "Really? I wouldn't trust me. I don't trust anybody." But I let her do it every single time, and she never stole from the drawer because I told her I trusted her. And I trusted all people there. And by giving them that trust, yes, you have the ability of it backfiring, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to want to do everything they can to keep your trust alive in them. Because people are naturally that way. And most people aren't naturally evil. Most people aren't really evil at all. They're just doing what they think will make them happy. Most people do the things they do because they think it's going to make them happy. And a lot of people, they don't want to do the bad things because they know that gets them in trouble. They know that it doesn't really feel good in the end. They don't want to be the evil guy. Everybody wants to be the hero, the superhero, the good guy, right? That's why we all cheer for the good guys in movies, right? It's only natural. So just, trust your students, respect your students, believe in your students. And I think that will go a long ways. Especially the ones that are giving you trouble. The ones that are giving you the most trouble are the people that need to learn their lesson the most. And they don't learn that lesson by you being a jerk to them. That just proves them that they were right, that you're a jerk and they don't need to like you. So if there's someone that is being disrespectful to you in class or whatever, because they don't like you, don't let that affect you and your emotions. Don't let that make you feel bad because they're just trying to do that because they think you're evil and they don't understand you're not yet. They're just doing that because they think that's going to make them happy, right? So instead, what you need to do is you need to help them see that you're not a jerk and help them correct their ways by leading by example, by being the best person you can be, and also by helping them discover it themselves by what they do. That is, give them opportunities to learn to like you. Treat them like you're there. Treat the student that's causing the problems like they're your favorite student. And then when you've got their attention and respect, then you can talk to them respectfully and say, hey, I noticed that you joke around in class a lot and it causes a lot of disturbances. I think you're funny. I think you're really funny. And maybe you should be a comedian one day. But right now, could you hold back a little bit so that we don't interrupt class anymore? But only do that in private. Like, because you don't want the kid to feel ashamed in front of his other students. So these are all good people skills that you can just act on. And I think it'll go a long way. Any of what Kyle said will help also. I mean, try not to let your emotions be deterred by what other people think. He said, but I am a jerk, according to anyone that knows me, even though I try to be nice as possible. All right. Well,
and then earlier you missed a comment too. She said, I don't think my best even qualifies for good, when you were saying just do your, do your best. We can hit on that a little bit too.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, sure. I thought you were on a roll. I just wanted to. I was just pointing the comment out. So
no, it's good. Go for it.
Why don't you think that your best qualifies for good? Just gonna let that question hang out there for a little bit, because you're focused, again, like we had talked before, on what other people think, because you put good in quotes. Right? So you're focused on if other people think you did a good job, right? It's not necessarily about what other people think. It's about if you actually did do your best. If you do your best, you try, then by definition it is good. Because we can only ask of ourselves what we're capable of. We can never do more. We can always do less, right? Shouldn't, but we can always do less. I oftentimes do a lot less than I'm capable of. But when I truly go into something and I give it everything I've got, that's good. Because I know I'm supposed to be there doing that thing. And I give it, as long as, if I'm robbing a bank or something, right? Like, once in a while, you
can always do less.
And I do my best job at robbing a bank. I guess you could maybe say, well, maybe that's not a good thing. But here's the reality. You're going here into a school to teach kids, right? So, or whatever you're doing on your, while you're there to help kids, help the other teachers, whatever you're there to do. I don't know, maybe you're, you're there for a task, and that's, you've got a task. Do the best you can. And then if you've done that, you can't feel bad, because there's nothing more you could have done. And if you're tricking yourself into believing that you can do more than you can do, you've put yourself in a paradox. Right? Don't beat yourself up over paradoxes, because they don't exist. That's the whole point. So be careful about putting yourself and beating yourself up when, it's a game, right? We all play this game. Did I do a good job? Does this person like me? Oh no, what about this? What about that? But if we can forget about that whole conversation in our heads if we just do the best we can, because the answer to all of those what ifs is, but I did my best. No one can ask more than that, so I'm good. Right? And if you can do that, maybe that'll help. I don't know. And then as far as you being a jerk, I haven't seen you say anything jerk-like yet here. So, I mean, I don't know you very well, but according to at least this person who knows you at least a little bit, you're not a jerk. So you can count one, probably two, because I think Ryan would probably agree with me.
Yeah,
you know,
that's anything. Yeah, you don't seem like a jerk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've met some people who act a little bit mean sometimes, you know, but you don't act like them. So I think you're, you know, I don't think you're a jerk. You know, I think you need to stop beating yourself up. You know?
Yeah.
And then here it looks like you answered the question, because I'm constantly getting hate. No matter how hard I try to have someone like me, I've tried my best at so much and always been one up by everyone, and I hate losing, especially if it is to my emotions.
Mm-hmm. You know, I could tell you something. I've got two things for you there on that. When I was in high school, when I was in actually, it started in elementary. I'm just gonna.
When he was 5 years old. When he was 3.
Oh my gosh! Before I was even born, guys. Oh my gosh! Oh, in the year 1845, I was sitting there, not even existing yet. Okay. Anyways, so, when this started when I was in elementary school, I had like a bunch of friends, and then some kid came along and he was cuter than me apparently, and all of the girls liked him and guys liked him, and he was funny, and then immediately I had no friends anymore, and I got insulted by him once, so everybody joined the bandwagon and decided they wanted to insult me too. And so then that was the bad start, and that was my foundation for the rest of all of my school. All right. So through middle school, I didn't do a good job of making friends at all. I made a lot of enemies because they all thought I was smarter than them, and I was trying to prove it. Even though that's not even the case, a lot of people didn't like me because of that. And then in high school, I, pretty much had a lot of enemies, a few bullies, a lot of people who just didn't really want to be around me, and then some friends. And I asked myself, I said, what's wrong with me? Like, why does nobody like me? Why does everybody hate me? Like, what's wrong? And I started playing an MMORPG, a game online. And on the game, I started making a lot of friends. And people online wanted to be around me, because when I got online, people would be like, Static, and they would say hi, and I would be like, hey, I started making tons of friends. And this was over the course of like 2 years or something. And then, well, I think it was actually probably only half a year on that server. But anyways, I started making a lot of friends, and I was like, well, okay, so what's the deal? What's the deal here? How come I have all of these friends? And so then I became like my online self, his name was Black Static, became my hero. I was like, I want to be that guy. Like, and so then I was like, okay, what do I do then? So I was like, I'm going to pretend that I am Black Static, because that's who I want to be. So I'm just going to pretend to be that person in public. So I started to talk to strangers. The person online would go up, the Black Static online would go up to people, sit down next to them, and start up conversations, and then compliment people and basically do his best to be his best. The nice thing was, in text, I had the time to think about something and respond. But I realize in real life, I have the time to do that too. I don't have to respond immediately. I can think about something, hold my words, and be like, how do I want to respond to that? But the main thing was this Black Static guy, he let loose. He didn't care so much what other people thought because he was online. It didn't matter. I didn't really know these people anyway, so I could just say whatever I wanted to. But those things were generally just things I was afraid to say, like jokes I was afraid to make. And, comments that were generally just nice that I wanted to make in real life, but I couldn't because I didn't want people to take me wrong, or I didn't know if people would think I was weird for complimenting them on their pants or something. I didn't want to engage in conversation because I was socially awkward and I thought everybody hated me. Well, when I started to force myself to be this person, all of a sudden I started making a lot of friends, like lots of friends from everywhere. All the people that were my enemies, I thought they were my enemies, started liking me. And I had this huge boost in self-esteem. But my self-esteem boost did not come from how many people liked me, I learned. My self-esteem boost came from me growing, me forcing myself to do things that I thought, I was forcing myself to do new things. I was forcing myself into situations that were awkward or scary to force myself to become a better person, force myself to become the person I wanted to be. And when I did that, it increased my self-esteem because it showed me that I could do it. It showed me that I should be confident in myself and that I am a strong person and that I'm a good person. So my self-esteem came more not from all the people that actually started liking me, but from me liking myself and liking who I was because I was just being myself and not worrying about what other people thought about me. That was the whole main point, is I had to get in there, not care about what people thought of me, and just do my best to make them feel good about themselves. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The most important thing when it comes to influencing or when it comes to dealing with people, the most important thing when it comes to dealing with people is not what you look like to them. That doesn't matter. What matters most is what they look like to themselves. If you make people feel good about themselves, they will want to be around you all the time. Because if you compliment people, they'll be like, oh, I like that feeling. I'd like to be around that person. Or this person makes me feel good about myself. Or I am having a good time when I'm around this person, so I want to be around them more. This person makes me smile, so I want to be around them more. If you smile at people, that makes people smile. If you make people feel good about themselves, they will generally come back and like you. But if you're doing that because you want them to like you, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. You have to make sure you like people. You're making people feel good about themselves because you care about them. And then that will lead you to become stronger and not worry so much about what they think, but just being a good, kind person. And then that will help you with your own self-esteem or how you feel yourself. But then here's the thing. Here's the catcher to all of it. Remember, I went through school. Everybody hated me, so on and so forth. A couple years after I graduated, in fact, this was only like 2 years ago, or actually, yeah, it was about 2 years ago. I started talking to a person who I thought hated me. And it's funny enough, he is now married to my cousin. So a kid I went to school with is married to my cousin who did not grow up in my area. It was just weird. So I was like, okay. So anyways, I was talking to him one day and we were talking about school and different people. And I brought up the fact that I was like, when I went to school, I thought everybody hated me. And he stopped me and he was like, dude, what are you talking about? What do you mean you thought everybody hated you? I was like, yeah, when I went to school, I thought everybody hated me. I think I realized that's not necessarily true. And he's like, dude, that's not true at all. Like everybody loved you. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you kidding me? Like everybody thought you were awesome. Like everybody, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, things were different over the last 2 years. And he's like, no. Like when I first met you, like in like middle school, like everybody liked you. Nobody hated you, at least. Maybe people were just didn't know you, but no one hated you. And I was like, I think you're right. And it was true. I had created this whole thing in my head where I believed if I wasn't friends with somebody, they must have hated me. I created this whole thing in my head where pretty much everybody hates me because I hate everybody. And as I learned to not hate everybody, for some reason, I still assumed everybody hated me, but the case was not, that wasn't the case at all. They just didn't know me. They didn't have any reason to want to know me. They didn't have any reason to get to know me because I never gave them one. And so just because they were not super friendly with me, or once in a while would say something mean because they wanted me to get out of their way or something, they never actually hated me. They just thought of me as another person. Sometimes maybe, yes, a person in their way, or a person that stood for weird things or things that were against their own belief system or something. But no one really hated me. No one really wanted the worst for me. Because what is the word hate? Hate is the opposite of love. And if love is to want the best for somebody, then obviously hate is to want the worst for somebody. And, no one actually wanted the worst for me. Honestly, maybe like one kid, maybe one, but probably not any. And I'm telling you, man, it's the same for you. You can't see it right now. Maybe you do now see it, but we create things in our head. I created things in my head. I know pretty much everybody creates social constructs in their head of where people stand in what environments. Oh, these are the popular kids. These are the kids that are the nerds and so on. But they're all just people. And if we were all honest, there's no real physical thing to all of that. It's not a physical reality. It's all just a construct in our head and we're making it up. And some of it's real. None of the they think this about me. I never asked them if they actually think about that. Do they hate me? I'll ask them, hey, do you hate me? And they'll be like, no, I don't hate you. I just don't know you, or I don't like you, but I don't hate you. Then it's like, then why did I think you hated me? It's because I invented it in my head. And I invented a lot of things in my head about other people and what they thought. Trust me, I did. I thought everybody hated me. I thought every time I thought I did something stupid, I thought everybody in the room saw me do something stupid and that everybody was going to make fun of me for it in their heads, even if they didn't say it out loud. To be honest, when I look at myself and when I see other people doing stupid stuff, I'm just like, oh, well, whatever. And then I go to the next thing. Like, I don't care. And I realize that that's pretty much everybody else too. Like, not very many people are like thinking about you all day long, going, oh man, he totally tripped and fell in the snow head first 7 months ago. Man, that kid, such a klutz. Man. No one's thinking that all day long, right? People don't really see people like that. Most people, they're just concentrating on themselves. Most people are so worked up and worried about themselves, they don't see other people. So not only does it not matter what people are thinking about you, they're not even thinking about you. They're just thinking about themselves and what you're thinking about them. And they're going to judge you based on what they think you are thinking about them without ever asking you what you think about them. Isn't that weird? But we all do it. I never asked you what you thought of me, but that doesn't give me the right to just assume you hate me. That doesn't give me the right to think that you're judging me about everything I say and every weird action I make and fluid motion or not. It's weird to assume that sort of thing, but it's not helpful. And so I encourage you to try to make the mind flip. It makes you realize not everybody hates you. And you have to ask them, do you hate me? Before you know. And if they say, yes, I hate you, then and only then can you say, oh, I don't care. Because you don't have control over what other people think. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to give value to the people you don't have to give emotional control to those people who hate you. If they hate you and they don't like you, then what they think doesn't matter. But if they do, then it really does matter. So ask people, hey, do you hate me? Just say it. Just ask people. Just ask people. I mean, you can do it right now. Ask people, do you hate me? You see what they say. And if they say no, then don't think they're lying. It's because they want to make themselves look good. Trust me. When people hate people, they're quick to tell you. I have met people who are like, yo, I hate you. You disgust me. Get out of my face. I have met people like that. When people go so far to hate something, that means like they're the type of people that'll go up to your face and be like, yo, I hate you. And if people have done that to you, I'm sorry, but it's happened to me. It's probably happened to you. But you know what? Just because they hate you doesn't mean that they're going to hate you forever. Things change. Things really do change. I've made friends out of enemies. And there are people that I hated in the past that I realized I had no right to hate them. And I was wrong for doing so. I've changed a lot over the years. Everybody does. So, and a lot of times it's just emotions. And emotions change. Emotions change quick. Emotions don't last forever. And they do change pretty fast. They're not reliable. That's why you don't want to really rely on emotions to decide your actions for you. But anyways, do you have something you want to say, Kyle?
No, that was fantastic. I don't think I can really add to that at all.
You should. Think of something. No, I'm just kidding.
If someone hates you, they don't deserve your mental energy.
Because they're not looking out for the best of you.
Because really,
not going to help you.
If someone really hates you and they're just trying to tear you down all the time, then the best thing you can do is distance yourself from that person until they come around. Because it doesn't help anybody to worry about them. They're not trying, they have no ability to help you. And you have no ability to help them. So that's just a waiting game. Best to focus your energy somewhere else.
By the way, Luxoka, thanks for actually asking. I love you, man.
Yeah.
I don't hate you. I love you. That's awesome. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. I keep saying man, but I hope.
Person.
Person. Luxoka. Free hugs. Hugs all around. I'm a guy. Okay, cool. There you go. Sorry, I'm taking
male person.
Okay. A male person. Is that like someone who delivers mail? Like the mailman? Male, female? Male woman? It's weird. Because you say the mailman, but what do you say for a lady? Male lady or male woman?
The post.
The post dropped this off for you. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, that was excellent, right? Thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, but people. Here's the thing: like, do you want the best for you or do you want the worst for you? I mean, the answer is obvious. You would rather be happy. You would rather people like you. You'd rather be happy. You'd rather the best things for yourself. That's normal. I'm sure you've heard before. Jesus said this. It's a quote of his. Love your neighbor as yourself. The whole point of that is wanting the best for other people. Just like you want the best for you. And if you want the best for yourself, then you don't have to listen to the people who want the worst for you. That's never going to help you. So if you do find somebody, on crazy rare occasion, because there's not going to be many, if you do find somebody who doesn't like you, then yeah, don't hang around with them. I mean, that's the person that's aiming to help you be help your best. That's the person trying to not get your best, or for worse, trying to hurt you. But most people, they're not even thinking about you. And you have to be in their presence before they even think of you. And then you have to, make a impression. And if your impression is just, hey, I want the best for you, let me help you, or hey, I like your socks, they're pretty cool, or whatever it is, if that's their impression of you, they're going to be like, oh, I like this guy. Nobody thinks of you. Yes, ouch, but also that's just how it is. On occasion, someone will think of you.
mean,
no one that's thinking about you.
I was here like 3 or 4 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet nobody thought of me until today when I came back on here. There's no reason anybody would have thought of me.
Right.
I expect that, right?
Yeah, and if they did, it was for like if someone thought of you, it's for like the sum total of at most 20 seconds.
Yeah.
20 seconds of everybody's lives here.
And it was probably something like, hey, remember that time Joe wasn't there?
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. So it's like, that's totally normal. So it's okay if people aren't thinking of you. It's okay, because that's not, you don't need them to think of you, right? You don't stop existing because other people aren't thinking of you. We're not quantum physics here. We don't just break reality because other people aren't seeing us. I'm sure you get the joke. If you're, whatever.
Yeah.
But you do think of yourself, and what you think of yourself is important. Also, it's important to look at the world and see that it's beautiful. It's important to take time and be thankful for the things you have, be thankful for the people you have in your life, and be thankful for, actually just be thankful for these things. Say thank you to something. If you don't believe in God, then say thank you to just coincidence and chance that you have everything that you have, the opportunities you have, the people in your life that you have, for the body that you have, that it is not in 7 different pieces scattered around the floor. Whatever it is you can find to be thankful for. That was rather gruesome. I'm sorry about that. Whatever it is, you've got plenty to be thankful for. You've got probably 10 fingers. And if you don't have 10, you have at least 1. And that's something. That's more than none, Or if all of you has stubs, be thankful for your stubs. You still have them. Be thankful for what you have. Because here's the thing. How you see the world is how you're going to feel living in it. And if you train your mind to like what you have, you don't have that feeling of I need more or I won't be happy. You see, that's why people say you need to detach yourself from physical things. Because the more you want things and the more you hold on to those gifts, like let's say I have something and I refuse to share it. Like I live with a roommate or something, right? And I bought food that's for me and my roommate takes some of it. Well, I'm having this attitude of like, this is mine and I'm going to keep it for myself. That only makes me want more for myself. I'm never satisfied with just having what I have. I always want more and always want more, always want more. That is until I come to the point of being thankful for what I have and sharing it with others. When I can give away the things I have, then it no longer becomes a game of how much can I gain for myself and then hold on to it and say, I always want more, because nothing will ever satisfy me. It might satisfy me for a few seconds, but then that satisfaction will go away and then I'll want the new thing. I want that new toy. I want that new game. I want that new whatever it is. we're never completely forever satisfied. But if we make ourselves a gift to others, if we make everything we have and understand everything we have is a gift and we can give it away, even our entire lives, we never earned existence. We were given it. And we get to choose how we feel about it. And again, how you feel about the world you live in is how you're going to feel living in it. And how you feel about yourself is how you're going to feel about yourself, you know? And so, I mean, that's obvious, but it needs to be said. How you feel about yourself is how you feel about yourself. And no one wants you to feel poopy. You don't want yourself to feel poopy. You don't want to feel like crap. You don't want to feel bad all the time, right? So making yourself a gift, it seems backwards. Like, a lot of times you say, well, I want to make myself happier, so I need more of something in my life to make myself happier. But the truth is, that's not how happiness works. That's how pleasure works. Happiness is a different beast. Happiness comes often from giving away what we have, because then we are fulfilled. We're actually using the item beyond just ourselves, and we're able to take it and move it to others. That actually creates happiness. So if you're in the mindset of always wanting more, always looking for happiness, always looking for something to fill that void in you to make you feel satisfied, then you're chasing down the path of pleasure. And pleasure isn't evil, but happiness is a different creature. And if you want happiness, you have to remember how to learn how to stop chasing after those things and to give things away and to make your life a gift and be thankful for what you do have rather than chasing, because then that creates satisfaction. When you're satisfied with when you're satisfied with what you have, you're happy. It's as simple as that. So you have to train your mind to be satisfied with what you have. That's the tricky part. In order to train your mind to be satisfied with what you have to start by listing off the things you're thankful for. And then eventually you'll train your mind to be okay with what it has right now and not desire more. Right now, you might desire more friends in your life. And that's a good thing to desire. That's a very good thing to desire. But what's more important is that you are a friend. Not how many friends you have, but that you are a friend, because that's the only thing you can control. You can't control whether other people are happy, or you can't control whether other people are friendly towards you, or if they're going to make a commitment to being your friend. The only thing you can do is be a friend to somebody else and say, I won't go back on my commitment of being a good friend. And that's going to make you happy. Rather than, wanting something from somebody who might not even want to offer it to you. So anyways, yeah, I think you get me. I think you get what I'm saying. I think knowing someone before going out on a date, hanging out, I think this is in a response to other people, is the best way to have a date.
Yeah, they're having a side conversation. Science Rocks wants to know if you think he should ask this girl out on a date to lunch, or if he's moving too fast.
Oh, I think you probably already know my answer, Science. But if you want it, Kyle is the romance expert. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, yeah. Ask her out for lunch. That's not too fast.
Yeah, it's just lunch.
We talked about this last stream. She gave you her phone number for a reason, and it's not because she doesn't like you. It's because she was okay with talking to you and probably wants to talk more. So ask her out to lunch. That's not going to do any harm. Too fast? Yes, there is a too fast. I would say that there is a too fast, but there's
a too fast for a lot of things, right? There's too fast for a lot of other steps in the process, but lunch is really one of them. And honestly, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be, because you're going to keep psyching yourself out more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go for it.
And the longer you wait, if we talked about this before, if she already has emotions for you, the worst thing you could do is wait. Because emotions, like we all talked about before, fade with time. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to invite this person out on a lunch date, Do it now, because she just met you. So this is crazy, but she gave you her number. So call her, maybe. That's a song. That's a song I quoted, except for it's not the exact words. You're welcome. Kyle's never heard the song before.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar to me.
Good. You don't want to hear it. It's really catchy. Stuck in your head. Well, Kyle is married. Yes. Yeah, now they're singing. Yeah, Carly Rae Jepsen or Carly Rae J. I don't know. I think it's Jetson. I don't know. Jepsen? Whatever, something. Yeah, thanks. Okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Or today? I'm so scared. Why, Ryan? That song. Also, thanks, everybody. I'm sorry about quoting the song. Oh my gosh, now everybody's singing it. I apologize, everybody.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm half tempted to check this song out, but I trust Ryan's judgment on this.
It's very catchy. It's not a song that has like a terrible message. It's not one of those where it's like, man, I wish that wasn't stuck in my head. It doesn't have a message that's necessarily good either, but yeah.
That's okay. There's always the crazy lady song.
I haven't heard it. The one that you heard the other day, you're like, dude, you don't want to hear it.
No, you're crazy. You're crazy old lady.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just, there's, know.
I have a song. So if any song ever gets stuck in my head, and this might work for you guys, if a song gets stuck in your head and you want it out of your head, you sing this song, which is a song I created while I was driving one day. And you'll get the rest from the context.
Yeah, here's the release. This is the release, guys. Hype, right? I mean, releasing a new song right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Never been sung before in public event.
Yeah, you guys better turn your recorders on.
You guys are like backstage. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. It goes something like this. You're crazy old lady for wildly driving when you know you're drunk on the road. You're crazy old lady for wildly driving when you know you're drunk on the road. You're crazy old lady for wildly driving when you know you're drunk on the road. You're crazy old lady for wildly driving when you know you're drunk on the road. If you just sing that your song in your head, get rid of any song that's stuck in your head. Don't be drunk on the road, yes. Also, driving behind crazy old ladies who wildly drive when they're drunk on the road. I'm still scared. Yeah, it's okay. You can be flustered. Call her anyways. Honestly, it's okay. You can be nervous. You can be nervous. Call her anyways. It's okay. Right? I mean, you can be nervous. That's okay. Just all you gotta do is call her. It's like that's all right. It's like it's not wrong. Yeah, it sounds like a folk song. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. All right. Speaking of done, this stream is done. It's been about 2 hours. Close. Unless anybody has any questions, we can, concerns we can talk about for like 4 minutes. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I hope that our answers have been helpful. At least maybe give you a little bit different perspective on things. Life is difficult. We don't expect to be able to we don't have all the answers, and we hope you don't expect us to have all the answers. We're just doing our best based on experiences we've had. And so, yeah, I hope you found this helpful. Where's who? I'm sorry, who? I don't know who that is. Rack Attack, who are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Joe is gone. He's on mini vacation with his family. Yeah. So Oh, you got tears. Don't be sad. Joe will be back next week. You're like, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I appreciate everybody having me here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job, bro. Thanks for being here again. Thanks for filling in.
Thanks for letting me chat.
Yeah, was good.
Also, I'd like to remind you, you can always, buy one of these cool cups.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Criminal
Idol cups.
Yeah, look at that BSS logo. It's beautiful. Just like you in your face. Beautiful. Princess Yellow says that you have you have a wonderful advice. Yeah, you have an wonderful advice, Kyle. If we wanted to speak perfect English.
And wonderful advice. I had one advice today.
Yeah, that's right. Why is advice always plural? It's never. I think that's because it takes multiple words. What, like run? Thanks for the advice. I suppose that's singular and is not plural. Advice is just a word that is both plural and singular at the same time.
Yes.
But you can't use the words "and" advice. I have an advice for you.
You can have an advisory notice.
Oh.
Or an advisory statement or something.
I have an advice for you. I have an advice.
It's always some, even if it's only one thing. That's true.
Yeah. I have some advice for you. Some.
You can't have an advisement, though. There you go.
Mm-hmm. I have an advisement. That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, you guys are talking about Anyways. What's wrong with your speech? First, self-esteem. Sin. What?
What?
Probably said something like that. I'm not sure. Couldn't translate that fumble from last stream. And now this. Dude, science, listen. You don't worry about my breath. I can say.
Thanks for the link, Princess, on the
Yes, please. Cups. Yeah, if you want to buy some merchandise, you can check it out there at redbubble.com, as posted by Princess. Thank you, Princess. Also, we have, if you have any concerns that you get throughout the week, maybe something you want to talk about, you can go to bss.studio and post it in the in the thing there. Okay, I'm gonna have to type the HTTPS. And also, we have forums there, or even a chat there. You guys can join and talk about whatever you want. So that is available to you.
Best Vocaloid ever.
I'm a Vocaloid, or
you are.
Oh, am okay.
GoofTroopYourMom.com.
Yeah, right. It's all about. Do you remember that, bro?
I do. That's hilarious.
That's right. BSS.GoofTroopYourMom.com. That's great. Man, I tell you, you just put GoofTroopYourMom.com, people will click it.
Does that exist yet?
Nope, doesn't. It's not a thing yet.
No one's bought.
I'm thinking of buying it. It's only like $10 or something. $12 a year for GoofTroopYourMom.com. That's awesome.
We'll have to take that to the
meeting.
To the meeting.
Yeah, we were gonna do it without telling you, but science.
Really?
Science, yeah, we were gonna do it without telling you and let us show up one day and have you get the bill for it. Like, what is this?
Oh, perfect.
What? Who bought this? It's hilarious. But science let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
It's okay. Science didn't know we were keeping a secret. So yeah. I'm actually funny. Here, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Dude, don't
The
talk
question
about
is, what do we do with it with a domain like that? We gotta find something fun to do with that.
right?
All right.
It could just route to bss.studio and we can just go around to every chat we can find on any anime or whatever website and just be like, gooftroopyourmom.com. Bet you won't click it. And people will be like, okay, but what is it? Problem with a title like that is gooftroopyourmom.com.
Right?
All right, I'll click it. No one's around. And then they'll be like, oh, it's just like a forum. It seems innocent.
Cool.
I'm anime as heck, bruh. Yeah, I get you. My speech problems have rubbed off on you. That's for the better. You know, it's relatable. It makes people take you less seriously, which is good. Unless you want them to take you seriously. Anyways, thank you all for joining. I've had a good time with you all, and I hope you come again next Wednesday. We'll be doing this once again. We'll say all the same exact things we said today. No, I'm just kidding. But we will
be pre-recorded.
Yeah. So remember to have some problems throughout your days, so that when we get here next Wednesday, you can share them with us. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Much love, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.